Hello. I don't know if there's anyone yet. Well, I'm going to get started. I don't see anyone yet, but I'm still very new at doing live on YouTube. And so I'm just going to talk about all sorts, and hopefully some people will. Well, I'm going to get started. We'll jump in. I've got someone, Libya. Hello. Hi. How are you doing? Is there anything you'd like to? I've got someone, Libya. Hello. Hi. How are you doing? Hi. Good. And you? Fantastic. I'm all right. I'm a bit tired. I had a very heavy week, and it's the weekend. So, but as promised, I'm here, and so I'm going to be. I plan to stay here for a couple of hours. For those who are new to my channel and don't know me yet, I'm a therapist and coach, and I'm here to talk about anything you would like me to address in regards to mental health, therapy, mindset, mindfulness, human behavior, and human psychology. And so, I'm going to have a look at my notes, and what I normally do, I just talk about the post that I put out on TikTok today as a starter. And as soon as someone asks me something, I will address their question. So today, it's Saturday the 1st. Where am I? I'm in February. Happy February, everyone, whoever is watching. For me, February is the real start of the year. Is the January point two. And so yes, I don't know where you are in regards to your Happy New Year's resolutions. I'm a bit behind mine. I'm still working on it like everyone, and it's okay. But we don't necessarily stick to the exact time. But this is exactly what I would like to get started with. I'm going to share with you a very, very simple principle that can help you actually make all of your New Year resolutions stick, whatever they are. And it's pretty simple. In other words, if you have to have one New Year's resolution, this is the one. It's the one that's going to help you basically make happen all the changes that you want to bring into your life this year. And basically, it's about how we're going to do things. It's not what we do, it's going to be how we do things. The new habit that we want to install in our life is a mental habit. And it is focusing on what we do as opposed to focusing on the outcomes. So whatever that you want to do, you want to lose weight, you want to stop drinking, smoking, you want to start a side business or any of those things. The reason why we find it so difficult is because we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And the more pressure we have, the more we're going to resist going in that direction. We're going to procrastinate, we're going to self-sabotage, we're going to be distracted. And also, we have a lot of pressure because we want something to be perfect right here, right now. And if it's not perfect right here, right now, then we're not going to continue doing this. This is what we call learned helplessness. If it didn't work out right here, right now, then it's a failure. It doesn't work. And some people, they don't have that. They don't believe in learned helplessness. They don't have that belief. They just keep going until it happens. And so how can we make it happen? How can we keep going until it happens? By focusing on the doing, not the outcomes. The more we compare, the more we're measuring and quantifying how much time there is left compared to what deadline we have given to ourselves, the more difficult it's going to be for us to keep going, and the more we're going to experience that learned helplessness phenomenon. And so that's it. It's very simple. Whatever what we do, but especially new things, it's very, very important to change our mindset and to focus on the doing, not the outcomes. Because if you think about it, outcomes, they happen whether we think about them or not anyway. And so we might as well just focus on little baby steps that are going to bring us closer to our goals a little bit more every day. So, yep. Here's a little tip for you. What do you think about this, guys? Let me see if there's any questions. I've got LLJ. Hello. Taryn. Hi. Kate. Hello. Hello, Kate. Paula. Hello, Paula. Carlos River. Hello. Any questions, guys? Anything you'd like me to talk about? Let me talk about the short videos that I put out on TikTok today. The first one goes like this. If a parent tells you that you have changed and they loved you more when you were younger, they're gaslighting you. It wasn't you that they loved, it was the control. And basically, we are talking about narcissistic parents here. I think anyone who has sort of experience understand what I mean. The next post goes like this. Not being believed when we have experienced trauma is an added trauma. So this is something that people don't realize. If we have suffered from abuse, for instance, and we seek help, and people are dismissing how we're feeling, they don't believe us, we are going through another trauma just because of that. So it's very important to have that awareness if we are dealing with people, to be extra empathetic and give people the benefit of the doubt instead of judging them and reacting to the situation. Finally, the last post is also about narcissists. Narcissists have power only over those who have less confidence than them. To those with more confidence than a narcissist, the narcissist has zero power over them. And so this explains why some of us are more inclined to be manipulated by narcissists. When narcissists feel that they have no power over someone because there's nothing to hook them on, then just leave them, because it was always a matter of confidence. So, yep. Now, let me read any comments, see if there's any question yet. Beastie Benny, can you say hi, Maddie? Hi, Maddie. Tanuki, hello from Switzerland. Where are you from? I'm from London. This is happening from London in the UK. I was born in France, and my genetics are Chinese. Libya Mary, true, thank you. Carlos Rivas, how can I stop thinking negative about myself after failing in my career and relationships? Okay, very good question. Okay, let's get started with that. Okay, so whatever we go through in our life, we tend to judge ourselves and to be very harsh on ourselves. And the reason we do this is because this is how our parents spoke to us when we were a child. Whenever we were going through our success or failure, they would judge us, and their voice is kind of stuck into the back of our mind and is echoing. And basically the way we think, the way we speak to ourselves is very, very similar to how we have been spoken to by the people who looked after us in childhood. And so we have to realize that if you're thinking negatively about yourself, it's only because of them. You are not meant to talk about yourself negatively. We are born self-loving. We are born confident. We are born full of enthusiasm and curiosity, but we've been infected by the adults as we grow up, by their fears and their limiting belief. And now we need to find out, to remember how it was before we decided that it was a good idea to function and operate and think like them. And so, how can I stop thinking a negative thought? First, you want to realize that that voice in your head is not you. Again, it's the automatic pilot, it's the program. And so you can, at any time, change that voice. You can decide to, so the way that I explain this is very simple. If you look here and there, there's not a little version of you standing on your shoulder with some spikes and some horn telling you some horrible things. You're a failure, you're a loser, sort of things. That voice is a tape from the things that happened to you in childhood. So whenever you wake up in the morning, the first thing that you do, as soon as you wake up, you press the record player and the tape player, and you listen to that program, and it's going to go like this. I'm a failure, I'm not good enough, whatever that I do, never succeed, I will never be as clever as my brother, or things like that. And then, as we do this, we're allowing ourselves to self-hypnotize. Sorry, I find it difficult to let me check on my dog, please. Sorry, I'm a bit fidgety today. Where was I? Yes. So that voice is not you. What you can do is to get rid of that tape, rip it off, throw it away, and then grab the mic and start to talk to yourself. And this is what self-talk is about. You learn how to speak to yourself so that you don't allow for that pre-recorded program to just happen in the back of your mind and keep entertaining the narrative that you have had in your head all these years. Yeah. So you learn how to speak to yourself. How can I stop thinking negative thought about myself? You look for the positive things about yourself. So have a detective mindset and find out about the good things about yourself. Find out what success did you have? What achievements did you create? What can you proud about? What are you good at? What do you enjoy? What do people like about you? What sort of advice do they ask from you? And then you focus on those bits, right? You have not failed in your career and your relationship either. This is another thing. You have lived your life, you experience all sorts of things, and your life is not over. And if you have failed in your career, maybe it was not the right career for you. Or maybe you had other things to deal with. We all have baggage and blocks, and we all have different priorities. And so, yes, your life is not over. You can always start any career that you want at any given time. It's never too late. Relationships is the same. Maybe you have your own baggage, and that kind of transpires within your relationship. And so it doesn't mean that you can't meet someone else. We like to believe that we are born to have one partner for life because of religion, because of society. This is what people make us believe, and it's not true. Most relationships, they don't last forever. Most relationships are meant to be only temporary. And so that's why a lot of people stay in relationships even though they're not happy. And it's a terrible thing to do because if there are children involved, the children are going to suffer from being in a household where parents are miserable and they hate each other. And so you have not failed. It's just that your relationship has come to a point where you should have stopped a long time ago, and it didn't. And so you ended up splitting with a bad energy about it. But you can always learn about it, grow from this, meet other people, and start a new career from scratch, right? So yes, does it answer your question, Carlos? Does it help at all? Tanuki, a French Chinese in the UK. Now that's a book title here. Yes, I am very cosmopolitan indeed. Be you. How to find true purpose? Okay, purpose. Purpose is not something that we find. It's something that we discover as we go through our life. It's not something that is hidden somewhere behind a rock. It is basically us, by process of elimination, by staying curious and open-minded and trying different things, finding out what it is that is the most natural for us. We are all born with some talent that is very specific to who we are. And the truth of the matter is that we know more or less in childhood what it is, but we tend to be repressed by our parents, by society, by teachers, by our community. Get a real job, be a doctor or a lawyer, or take over the restaurant, or whatever that the parents feel is best in their eyes. And then in the end, we forget what it is that we're excited about. But if you're not sure, think about just exploring your life, stay open-minded, try different things, try, and don't be afraid about starting something and not finishing it and starting something else, because you only have one life as far as we are concerned. And your life is about you finding out who you are throughout your life, throughout your relationship, throughout your trials and your adventures. And so your true purpose is not necessarily one job description. It's not necessarily one activity. It can be something that you're natural at, so something to do with nature, something to do with people, something to do with organization, something to do with creativity. It can be anything at all. It's not something that is set in stone. But the best thing for you to do is that if you don't know what it is, just try and know that you have your whole life ahead of you. You don't need to know right here, right now, and you can also you don't make mistake, but you can try things that will not work out for you, because this is how you find out whether they work out for you or not, right? And so yeah, that's how you find your purpose. Does it help? Does it answer your question? Be you. Tanuki, by the way, hello from Switzerland. Hello, Tanuki from Switzerland. See, lol, I just got here, okay? Libya Mary, I'm moving to Basel. What is Basel? Is it a place? Kate, struggling with mental health issues. How do you not let this affect your relationship? I remember the conversation you were asking me if I was married. Uh, I have worked on my mental health issues, so now I'm actually very, very good compared to all my life, and so that's what I do. If I didn't work on myself, I wouldn't be able to have a happy relationship with my husband. So for those who don't know, I've got borderline personality disorder, bipolar disorder, ADHD, and CPTSD. I used to be addicted to class A drugs and alcohol for 38 years of my life, and I was always very angry and stressed out and miserable and nasty. I was a very different character altogether, and so so anyone who was with me have suffered the relationship. There's not a single person in the past that didn't suffer, and yeah, I used to be a very horrible person, pretty much. Even my husband, at the beginning, when we were together, he had to really. We never understood why he stood his tail with me for the first couple of years, but eventually, when I changed, things started to make sense, right? And so, if you have some problem with your relationships and your mental health, you want to address your mental health. It's very important. Now, having said that, it's possible to find someone with whom you can work together. If you find someone who also has problems and you both understand what it is that you have and what you can do together, it is absolutely possible to work together to heal your wounds together. And so yeah, what sort of mental health issues are we talking about, Kate? Do you want to elaborate? Taruki, Basel is beautiful. Okay, I don't know what is. It's a place. I get it. I've been to Basel. It's nice, a little boring / bland, but maybe in the summer it's different. Plus, I missed the big festival. Is it in Switzerland? Libya, Mary, I haven't been yet. Name, what do you think about? Question mark, about what? Libya, Mary, yes, okay. Carlos Rivas, thank you for this insight. I will try this. Fantastic. Thank you, Carlos. Tanuki, I am an average guy with an average wife, living an average life, no complaining. Okay, if you're happy about this. Average is, okay, doesn't mean anything at all, because everything is about context. And so, yeah. Depends on the mindset that you have. So yes, why not? Not everyone needs to have a spectacular life. I'm going to have a bit of coffee. Now I'm starting to relax. I was a little bit tense at the beginning of the video. I have a lot of things going on in my mind. I look after a lot of people at the moment, and so that kind of take time to evacuate from my body. I work at weekend as well. So where am I? Kate, I have generalized anxiety disorder and depression, and also eating disorder. It's really taken a toll on my dating life. Okay, so there are different ways to look at it. We're all different. You can either keep dating, but look for change the mindset that you have about the dating. Go on a dating experience just for fun. Don't take any pressure, and keep open-minded. And also, it's a tricky one because I don't know you. Well, on one hand, I'd say focus first on your mental health, but at the same time, we need to get going with our lives. And so you can also date, but maybe address the difficult part of the dating. So which part about dating are hard for you? Do you have low self-esteem? Are you hyper-vigilant? Are you paranoid? Are you suspicious of people? Or do you get attached to people very quickly? What sort of situation have you got here? How do you deal with people through dating, Kate? Libya Mary, how to motivate friends? So I remember the question that you asked me earlier on one of my posts. We can't really motivate them. We can inspire them. So if you want to inspire your friends to change countries, to look for new opportunities in some bigger places, like bigger cities perhaps, you want to just tell them what you do and share with them how you feel about yourself and what you have experienced so far, and that's it. Whether they do it or not, it's their journey. It's got nothing to do with anyone else. It takes a lot for people to take sort of decisions. If you're able to do this, it's fantastic. But for most of us, it's a struggle because we have other things to deal with. And also, if you've never done that before, anything that is different can be very, very terrifying. So yeah, Libya, is that what you wanted to ask me? Again, if you want to be more precise with your question, I'll have a better idea of what you want me to talk about. Kate, my current relationship is really struggling because of my abandonment issues and anxiety. Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. If you have some conditions, it might be the only possible outcome at this point in time. Right? We can't. Sometimes we need to do certain things before we can get some things. And so I, for instance, until I worked on myself, I was a horror. I was absolutely emotionally unstable. I was needy. I was desperate. I was vindictive. I was relentless. Again, borderline personality disorder. And so, would you know if you have any other conditions or other than anxiety and depression? But having said that, even if you don't have any other condition, um, anxiety and depression are bad enough as they are, and so address it, work on it, find a way to prioritize this. There are only so many things that you can do in a day. Prioritize, and look after yourself first. That's what I'd say. Speak openly to your partner about what you're going through and about your needs, and they may be able to be patient and need you, or maybe they may not be, because many of us are not trained to deal with that. Most people, they have no idea how to deal with people who have depression or anxiety. And so yes, sadly, I think that that's what you should focus on, really. Are you working on yourself? Have you sought some help? Tanuki, you are a bit nervous. Yes, I'm a bit nervous today. Yeah, it's true. I'm normally not, but today I'm a bit stressed out. I had a client before, and I've been very busy the whole week. And sometimes I deal with a lot of different foods, and those things stays a bit in my body. And so it's quite rare. If you follow my TikTok live, which I've been doing for like 1.5 years or even 2 years now, I'm very, very relaxed. But today I can feel a bit of nervosity. So I'm acknowledging it. It's not normal. I'm normally very quiet. I'm normally very chilled, but today I find it a bit difficult. I'm human, so I'm acknowledging my humanity, and it's okay to be human as well. So there you go. Hopefully, I will relax more as I go along that live. But I agree with you, Tanuki. Absolutely. Michelle, I appreciate all of your messages. They are my daily therapy. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Michelle. You remind me that I am good enough. Yes, you are. Thank you. Kate, I think it's low self-esteem. That's my issue. Okay, so let me have a sip of coffee and let's talk about it. If you have a low self-esteem, it's because you have a voice in your head that keeps on telling you that you're not good enough. You're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, you're not funny enough, you're not interesting enough. Whatever it is that you feel about yourself that is affecting your low self, that is affecting your self-esteem, is coming from that voice. And so, just like I was talking about with Carlos just before, you want to learn how to speak to yourself with love, with compassion, with kindness, with patience, with support. And it's something that you can learn how to do. Now, if you're really, really, really struggling emotionally, whatever that we say here will not make that much difference, but it's still possible to do something about it. At least if you have an awareness that the way you feel is because of the things that you think. And so if you can find a way to learn how to think better thoughts, then eventually you may be able to create some better feelings and sensations in your body. That will actually allow you to be more, to show more confidence, to be more you, to be less frozen when you are interacting with people. But again, if you suffer from depression and anxiety, what it tells me is that you have some baggage, and I don't know how much baggage you have or what sort of baggage you have. And so we can talk about this if you want, but low self-esteem is not a problem per se. It's a byproduct of everything else. If we've never been loved in childhood, for instance, then we will have sort of low self-esteem in relationships because we believe that love is not available to us, and so we don't know how to deal with situations. Carlos Rivas, I agree with Michelle. Okay, thank you. Libya, true, thank you. Thank you, Libya. Kate, I was previously in an abusive relationship with a lot of emotional abuse and cheating, and it really messed up my idea on relationships and people. Yes, okay. So you have been traumatized. Yes, seek therapy, seek some help, practice meditation, mindfulness, read books about the mind, learn more about how to identify your thoughts and not assimilate yourself with them. All of those things. There's a lot of things you can do. It's for you to find out what is the best for you at this point in time to address how you feel. Healing is a journey of self-discovery. And so it's for you to find out what other protocols are there, who are there, what sort of systems exist, and try bits and bobs until you find out what works for you. Have you had some help before? If so, what was it? Tanuki, you live, you die. The question is, have you been happy? In the end, we're all gone. The journey is important. Yes, the journey is all varies. We're here in this life to experience that journey. People ask often, what is the meaning of life? And the meaning of life is what we give it. But in reality, the whole point of life is for us to experience a human adventure. So whatever that we go through is it and is valid. Robert Reed, Corey Feldman needs help. Corey Feldman needs help. Someone help Corey Feldman. Okay, well, I can only help people who are there. So if you are Corey Feldman in disguise, talk to me. Other than that, there's nothing I can do about Corey Feldman, I'm afraid. Kate, I'm constantly asking my partner if he's sure he wants to be with me, and he said he finds it tiring, constantly reassuring me. Okay, so here's the thing. You are who you are. He is who he is. And you all have your baggage and your limitations and your abilities. And so whether it works or not is a matter of many, many, many parameters all happening at the same time. And so that's what I'm saying. Your partner may be able to help you or maybe not. And if not, there's nothing you can do about it. So that's why the first thing you want to do is to work on yourself and also communicate with him and tell him, I'm sorry that I'm so come across as needy, but I can't help. And if he loves you enough to make an effort to learn about you, to be patient, then he will do that. If not, it's okay as well, because it's not his fault. He's living his life, and for some people, it can be a lot as well. Maybe that can actually remind them of some situations they've had before in their own childhood that can be heavy for them as well. Just like for instance, there's something that I used to struggle for a long, long time. It's people who live in fear. And it's ironic and very paradoxical because I'm a therapist, but people who are constantly living in fear, I find it difficult to not having to deal with some sort of anger. That's because of my own projections, because my mum used to always live in fear, and she also was very abusive to me. But because of that, whenever I would see some of our friends who would always be also worried about everything, it would make me angry. I've worked on it now. I'm zen. I'm cool. But what I want to realize is that you have your own experience from your perspective, and your partner has his own experience from his perspective. And what matters is to find someone with whom we can function together for a certain amount of time, doing the things we want to do together. But if it doesn't work, it's also okay. It's a big road out there. You have your whole life to learn about how to create and find stability again. And eventually, when you are more stable here, then you'll be able to attract more people who are also at the same level of stability, and things will become much, much, much easier. But yes, it can be tiring for them, and also you need to do that, and there's nothing you can do about it. You don't want to feel bad about yourself. You have some trauma, you have some baggage to deal with, and so you will do this. It is kind of inevitable until and unless you address this through therapy or through other system that may help you transform how you feel about yourself in relationships. Libya, I have friends in my hometown who always make a plan for her to move, first to start a business, but when the time comes to move, she finds a reason not to move. Yes, because she's not ready. She's finding reasons because she's not ready. She doesn't. Her emotional, her head, the brain, wants to do this. It makes sense. It's logic, but the heart, the body, doesn't feel like it. So now the body is always going to win. It's going to hold back. We don't realize that we are limited and run by our emotional mind. All of us, everyone. And so no matter what we think is worth very little until we feel that it's safe for us to do this. Whatever we know is worth nothing until we believe in it. Tanuki, constantly. Why, by the way, I'm married 27 years and never asked my wife this question. If she wants to go, I guess she will tell me. I don't understand. Constantly what? I'm not sure what you're referring to. If she wants to go, if she wants to leave you, what is what you mean? I'm not sure what to say about this. Do you want to be more maybe clear about this, please? Libya, Kate, something happened to me. I learned to identify the guys who are abusive and would not go out with them. The thing is that we tend to attract people who are abusive until we have changed. And so it was a response to Karen. Ah, right, okay, I get it. Okay, so it's between the two of you, right? Okay. To Kate. We attract people, or we allow people in our lives that fit the narrative that we have about ourselves. And this is all, again, based on our childhood, whatever happened to us then. Kate at Tanuki. I think it's because he has his own issues as well. He breaks up with me a lot, and when he's upset, he tells me he doesn't want me, but then we're okay. He says he doesn't mean it. So, Kate, it's true that everyone has baggage, absolutely. But the only thing that you have a power of influence over is about you. You know, we can't change others. We can't transform them. We can't get them to behave in any way we want to, because it's none of our business. They are working on themselves, we are working on ourselves. And if they don't work on themselves, there's nothing we can do about it. And so basically what I'm trying to say is that in any relationship, the only part of the equation where you have some sort of power is to address you. Is how you feel about it. Why am I reacting like that? Why am I feeling like that? Why can't I help but doing that thing all the time? And then as you change yourself, your interaction, your dynamic with the other person will also change, and that will also guide the direction, the relationship in the direction of your healing. But we can't change others. And so what I'm trying to say is don't waste your power, don't waste your focus, don't waste your energy and your hope on looking at what he is doing. Just focus on yourself. Carlos, I had never considered that I can simply just mute the negative chatter in my mind and replace it with positivity. Oh, yes, there you go. Fantastic. So you can't mute. Your head will always play something. There's always going to be some voice. Unless you practice mindfulness and meditation for a long period of time, for the vast majority of us, it's going to be very nearly impossible to shut down our mind because your mind is designed to have a conversation with you all the time. So what you can do, however, is to create a better conversation with your own mind. So we don't want to repress some thoughts. We want to choose better thoughts instead. If you try to repress to get rid of a thought, you're only going to amplify it because the brain doesn't process negatives. So if you say, I don't want to think about this, all you're going to get is this. Instead, choose a better thought. Yeah, instead of thinking, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not capable, I don't deserve anything, I'm a loser, or whatever you used to allow in your mind, think, think about focusing your mind on creating something for you. This is what I want to become. This is what I want to do for me. This is how I want to change. I have some project, have some plans, and that will keep you busy and stimulated, and it will help you install a new system in your mind over time, and repetition. Tanuki, Kate, I only have one question. Are you happy? Well, she's depressed and anxious, and so I reckon probably the answer wouldn't be yes. Tanuki, my marriage is a lot of compromise, but never on core values. Yeah. But here's the thing, we're all different, and you come from a good place, Tanuki. But Kate just told us that she's got some baggage, and so already that would tell me that we want to address how she feels, as opposed to addressing the relationship, because between someone who has anxiety and depression and someone who hasn't, it's a whole different world altogether, a whole different reality. Kate, when we're good, I'm happy. When we fall out, it really triggers my anxiety and get stressed and upset and become needy. Yes, that's precisely. Tanuki, focus why you want to be with him. So again, I wouldn't say that you come from a good place. I understand where you're coming from, Tanuki, and it's very kind of you to want to help. But it's not about that. It's about the triggers, the emotional triggers that she has that gets her to not be able to be emotionally stable. To not to be able to read the environment, to read the room, to read the body language of people the way other people read it, because trauma, depression, anxiety, and so everything is amplified when we have those conditions, and things are much harder. And things like cognitive things like focus on why you want to be with him are inconsequent. Why do we want to be with someone? Because we don't want to be alone, and if we've been traumatized, because we are fearing being on our own. Also. If we have been very unhappy in childhood, we may suffer from the fear of abandonment. And so it's a whole different level of needing to be with someone. It's not just, oh, is it the right person for me? We just need to be with someone because we don't feel safe at a subconscious level. Does it make sense, Tanuki? Chilled with vibes. I love your stuff, Jude. Thank you, dude. Thank you. Chilled with vibes. I randomly found you, and you are my favorite thing to watch. Thank you so much. It was very kind of you. I appreciate it. Tanuki, and if he doesn't share your core value, well, it's up to you. It's not about the core value. It's not about this. It's about that. It's about how someone is able to function emotionally with someone else. And so Kate was talking about how he may have his own issues as well. So we don't know. We tend to believe that everything can be fixed here. And again, I understand that you come from a good place, Tanuki. But we don't know for the vast majority of us that we are ruled by our emotional state, by our emotional program. And so it was not about the core value, it's about whether, because the core values may be there, everything can be precisely exactly the same thing from both sides. However, if we're not able to connect emotionally, if we're going to react to one another all the time and have outbursts of emotions, then all the cognitive bit goes down the drain. In that moment, we're just emotions. I think it's more a matter of whether or not you and him will be in the same space in your life. So if you both want to heal, you're both aware of your wounds, and you are willing to learn together with humility and open-mindedness and patience, then that will be potentially a good way to do this, if it was the case. Tanuki, I think life is too short to be with someone who abused you. So it's true. But when we are traumatized, we don't realize those things. If I have been abused all my childhood, if my parents didn't care about me or even were violent to me, then I'm going to create a sense of identity that says that this is who I am, this is what I deserve. Those are the people that I attract. And that's all that I can get in my life. And so as we grow up, it's also conscious. We don't choose this. We end up with those people. We don't choose to be abused. No one chooses to be abused, right? You're absolutely correct. No one should go through that. But people who get abused is because it is what feels familiar to them. And so, and abusers is the same thing. They can recognize the energy of someone who's going to be easier to abuse. And so they're going to reveal who they are because they have their own baggage as well. People who hurt others are people who have been hurt as well. When we get hurt in childhood, we have two responses. We can either become the abuser or we can be the abused again. Bullies have been bullied themselves, and they have a belief that the world is divided in two categories of people, the bullies and the bullied. So we're going to choose to be the bully, so not to be bullied. But you're right, Tanuki, life is too short, of course, to allow anyone to abuse us. But no one chooses that. April, thank you for your videos. Thank you so much, April. I'm glad you appreciate. Is there anything you'd like to talk about? For those who don't know, I plan to come here every Saturday live on YouTube. So today I started at 6 p.m. as an experiment. But if you believe that other time would be easier for you, let me know. I'm not sure. I can start earlier or later. I don't know. And also, do you prefer vertical or horizontal? I can do both as well. This is very new to me. Libya Mary, I hated myself for being needy, took time alone and started giving myself hugs and telling myself I'm good, telling myself it's okay to cry, I'm here with you. Okay, good on you. So yes, you want to express yourself. If you can hug yourself, you are starting to have an awareness that you can make yourself feel better. Hugging yourself, doing these kind of things is something that we can do absolutely to soothe ourselves if we're feeling distressed, amongst many other things. And also, but something that I want to say, don't hate yourself for being too needy, because there's nothing wrong with being needy. We all have needs that must be met. And so if you're needy, it means that you have been hurt and you have not healed yet from that, and it's not your fault. And if you need something, then accept that you need it, just like we all do, and it's okay. You don't want to become the bully to yourself. Like you feel that you don't like it because this is what people used to say to you, don't be so needy. And because of that, now you're thinking, I've got shame about myself, I can't be needy. But you know what? No. If you have need, express them. You need it. You need it. There's nothing wrong with needing something. If anything, you should have what you need, right? So give yourself those things. Be kind to yourself. Don't feel shameful about yourself. Don't hate yourself because you need some love. You need attention. This is you learning how to be kind to yourself and heal yourself by listening to yourself and giving yourself those needs as you do when you are giving yourself some hugs. Does it make sense, Libya? Tanuki, I think we're on the same page, okay? Fantastic. Virapan, Budao. What does that mean? Budao. Azar read, me neither, bullied, not a bully, being bullied by government through taxes. Okay, so this is a whole different conversation, but yes, the government is a bully in many, many different ways. Libya, exactly. It is very difficult to go from an abuser to a non-abuser because you keep on thinking, when is he going to hit me? But then I learned not everybody is an abuser. I'm very happy today. Good on you. Good on you. So you found your own way to no longer attract another of them in your life. Fantastic. Fantastic. Tanuki, I am lucky to be with someone who loves me for who I am, but also I choose her. Bad relationship can happen, but once you find out, you also can change. Good on you. You're very lucky indeed, and I'm very happy for you. Tanuki. Jennifer McCarthy. Hello, Didi. Hello, Jennifer. Libya, true, thank you. Yes, it makes sense. Fantastic. As I read, some laughing face emojis. Kate, at Libya, I do focus on very little things in my relationship. Anything that hints to what my ex did, I started rating him like an FBI agent. Okay. So it's normal because you are still, you haven't heard yet from those ones from the past. So anyone in your shoes would do the same. And until you address this, it's actually a system that you have put into place in your mind to protect yourself from deceit. And so, yeah. Don't feel bad about it, but at the same time, find a way to address why you put those things into place and how you can actually change this. Kate, Libya, it's embarrassing and I hate it. So the same thing I would tell you, okay, don't be embarrassed about who you are. Don't be embarrassed about the fact that you have put some measures into place to look after your own self. We do this because there was no one else to look after us when you were younger. So we had to come up with something. And so now that paranoia, that neediness, that all things that you have created yourself to protect yourself from being abandoned, from being rejected, from being alone, and feeling unsafe. Kate, I honestly wish I wasn't like this. You can change. You can absolutely change. Everything that you do, everything that you think, everything that you feel, whatever behavior that you have, they are all habits, no more, no less. We are a collection of habits. Habits of thoughts, habits of emotions, feelings and sensations, habits of behavior and actions, and reactions as well. And so all we got to do is to change those habits, is to realize, understand how the mind works, and one at a time, upgrade an old habit with a new, better one instead. I used to be like that and more. I used to be very, very insecure, very reactive, very paranoid, very angry. I had rage all the time, very miserable, very anxious, terrified of everything. I've changed. Now I'm zen, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm fulfilled. I've got my ups and downs like everyone, and it's okay. But I'm no longer debilitated by those conditions. It's not omnipresent, it's not ruining my life, it's not pervasive anymore. I've got a lot of systems into place, and my baseline of happiness and peace is there. Right? And so it's possible to change. It's absolutely possible for everyone to change. Libya, Kate, don't hate yourself, care for yourself. Yes. So Libya, we agree. And remember to apply that advice on yourself as well. To everyone. This is what I tell everyone. Be kind to yourself. We don't realize this, but we are so mean to ourselves all the time. The way we speak to ourselves. Azar. I had someone in my life. I gave her everything emotionally, mentally, but she went away. Please tell me how to deal with that. I've been trying to apologize for nothing, but not positive responses. Sometimes people are not meant to be together. Sometimes no matter what you give, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, will work because people are different, right? We all have a different bubble of reality, and we're going to experience a situation in ways that are unique to us. And so you have an idea of, if I do this, this should happen. If I behave like that, she should be doing this. And so you tried everything according to your books, according to your principles and your values, and yet it's not working. And so that's only because you are still under the illusion that what you believe is true for everyone, and it's not true. Everyone has got a different system of belief, of interpretation, of reading, understanding words, phrases, everything. And so just realize that it was not meant to happen. That's it. It's not because of you. You have not failed. It's not because of her, because she should have been happy with you, but she wasn't, despite you doing all the right things. Just accept that people are different, and learn how to be, maybe listen to your intuition, learn how to be more intuitive. Learn how to let go of any limiting belief that are keeping you in the prison of those expectations. Right? Life is like that. People should be like me. People should behave like me. People should think and feel like me. People should treat me like I treat them. It's a belief. It's a belief. If it was true, that would be good. But it's impossible because we're all different. And so that wouldn't work. It's not possible that it works for everyone. And so we just want to accept that people are different, and people are different way to interpret things. And what you can do is to accept that it was not your fault, and it was not her fault either. It's just that you are not meant to function together, right? And so going forward, what you can do is to change your attitude when you're going to date and meet some new people in your life, and be open-minded and pay attention to your intuition, and see what happens. We're here in this life to find out about ourselves, and relationships are a great way for us to find out about ourselves as we meet different people in our lives. Does it make sense, Azar? Kate, it's really inspiring seeing you, because I honestly started to believe I was just stuck like this forever. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Kate. This is very, very kind. This is very nice. Thank you. Stay with me. Talk to me. Ask me anything. All right. I'd do anything for whatever duration I'm on that life to lift you up if I can. Thank you. Tanuki, at Kate, I'm glad he can help you. Be a little bit healthy, selfish in life, and you'll flourish. Libya, Kate, no, you are not. It just takes a little time. Please hug yourself and think I'm also sending you a big hug. Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Azara, yes, we are diversity in mind, in heart, in personality. I agree to you, sir. Fantastic. Thank you. But sometimes we forget. And that's why we feel bad, because we're thinking, I've done all the right things and yet it's not happening. Why is it not happening? It's so unfair. And we suffer because of the belief that people and life must be fair. And it's just a belief. Life is not fair. And we can't expect for people to be fair either, because everyone is different. And so even the definition of fairness is different from one perspective to another, from one moment to another, from one context to another. And so, yes, yeah. I'm glad that you agree with that. Thank you, Azar. Yes, sir, it does. Thank you, Azar. Call me Didi. Don't need to call me sir. Kate, thank you, guys. You're all so sweet. Big hugs to all of you. Yes, so I do this on TikTok, but I'm bringing it on YouTube now. What I'm trying to do is this. I'm trying to create a community, a safe space where people can share things and be with one another and help out and give some advice. And I think it's a great thing to do. So please, guys, don't hold it back. Come back. If you feel that there's anyone that you know who could benefit from that, get them either on TikTok or YouTube whenever I come live, and get them involved. Yeah. Kate, I don't have TikTok, so it's great you're on here. Okay, here's good. YouTube, Saturday. So at the moment, I'm trying the time. Today I started at 6 p.m. Last week I started at 3 p.m. Do you have any preference or not? Azara, is there anything like intuition for real example? Sometimes I get in my mind this thing is going to happen, and the very next moment it happens. Is it really something mind predicted, or it's just coincidence? So there's no such thing as coincidence, as in coincidence are not a matter of luck. I think the term coincidence comes from mathematics, something like that, and it's when, or algebra, or I don't know, but basically it's when two sides of a triangle are going to meet. So it was always meant to happen. uh, and so now that was just something on the side. Intuition is a real thing. We have three minds: the head, the heart, and the gut. They are there for different reasons. They have different functions, and they speak a different language. And so the head functions with the energy of words, phrase, pictures. The heart, it's all about emotions, feelings, sensations. And the gut, it's about intuition. And so what you want to do is to learn how to reconnect with your gut. We all have that, but we tend to be confused because the head gets in the way. And so very often, again, I'm going to give you an example. Very often you do something, and the next moment you're like, why didn't I listen to my intuition? I knew I should have done that instead. And so in that moment, you know, the other alternative was what your intuition told you to do. When your head gets into the way, it's a narrative. When you have a voice telling you something, then it's no longer your intuition. Your intuition is just a short sensation that makes that you can feel and tells you whether it's right or wrong, correct, good or bad. That's it. It's very, very simple. And so learn how to reconnect with that. If you're not sure, I will recommend you to practice mindfulness and meditation to reconnect with that mind. But it's so important, because it's not only about giving you answers for everything that you need, but also if you're a creative person, inspiration, imagination, it all comes from this mind. Does it help, Azar? Tanuki at Kate, you're the most important person in your life. Live like it. True. Azar, exam questions are good examples. Exam questions. All right. You can actually utilize your intuition for your exams. Absolutely. But for it to happen, you need to be in the right state. So basically, you need to be in a relaxed state to feel your intuition. If you're tense, it's not going to happen. Because if you're tense, your head is taking over. And so you won't have access to that mind. And so it's a whole different conversation here. But what you want to do is to realize that when you are doing exams, the one most important aspect of you optimizing your mind in regards to your exam is to relax. You want to sleep more. You want to realize that you have studied a lot. And the night before, instead of spending extra hours doing some revision, you want to chill. Less is more, because then your brain is going to be able to process this information, and the more relaxed you are, the more rested you are for the next day, the more you'll be able to access all those months of information that you have accumulated over time, as opposed to those few extra hours that you have added at the expense of your sleep, right? If anything, you want to sleep more, you want to chill, you want to enjoy yourself the day before, so that you are super chilled and relaxed on the day of the exam. It's better to be more fresh, so that we can tap into all the other month of information that you have ingurgitated, than trying to just add extra hours and not sleep. If you want to optimize your brain power, your brain capacity. And so when you are relaxed, then you can also connect with your intuition. But you need to have slept, you need to be relaxed, you need to be at peace with yourself. I have done a lot of experiment myself with my intuition. I used to, a long time ago, I did a television show called The Eggheads. I was invited because some of my friends needed someone to join the group, so they asked me, and so I ended up in Glasgow with them in the ITV studio, and we did that, and I get all my rounds. I won all of them. And I didn't understand even the questions, some of them, because basically the night before we went on a rampage in town with my gang, and so we had some booze. I didn't sleep that much, so we're all like that the next day, and so I was very relaxed. And as I was going through my rounds, It's like as if I could tell. So the first round, you have three different choice of answers. I knew which one it was, as if there was a light shining on them, or it was one out of the three was attracting me more, even though there was some questions that I didn't understand, but it really felt strong. But even after that, the last round, you don't have any choice. You're just being asked questions, and I knew stuff that I didn't know that I knew. Uh, and so after that, I spent the whole of the pandemic watching some quiz show on television to test my intuition in regards to those questions. And so I watched the Chase, and another one is called the Tipping Point. And whenever I'm relaxed, I get like I don't know 95% of the answers right just by guessing. It's just guessing. But when I'm stressed, when I'm trying too hard, I can't get it. And so again, there's much more to this than that. But what I'm trying to say is that if you can learn how to understand the connection between a relaxed mind and intuition, that can really help you in regards to your exams and everything in your life. Tanuki, it doesn't mean you have to be selfish, it's just put you on the top. I don't believe in selfishness. I believe be selfish. Again, I understand where you're coming from, but selfish is not a bad thing. What I normally say is selfish. Self first is not selfish. But then again, what is selfish? Selfish is it's a sin. It's something that has been invented by religion, and because of that, we don't want to be selfish. But we should really be all of us selfish, as in look after yourself first, because we can only give what we own. And so the more you give to yourself, the more you will naturally give back to others without even thinking about it. This is how it works, in that order. I don't believe that people are selfish. Yeah. I mean, everything is contextual, of course. If you have a cake and you eat it all, in that context, you're going to be selfish. But at the general level, when you're talking about self-care, selfishness doesn't even exist as a concept. Azar, yes, sir, it does help. Fantastic. Thank you. Azar, inner feelings given the best answer in your case, sir. And same happens with me. If I'm thinking too much, it's wrong. If I take it on a lighter note, it comes right. There you go. So you have experienced it at a feeling level, you know it. Fantastic. So now you have an idea of how to make it work, right? Libya, healthy, selfish. Yeah, no, be selfish. It's good to be selfish. It's all good. There's nothing wrong about it, really. Uh, Selfish only exists in some very specific context. There's too much pressure of shame, guilt, sin. Don't do this, don't do that. You're gonna be a bad person. This is something that I really, again, from a human perspective, but also as a therapist, I really understand how this are what hurts all so much. The idea that we have things that we should do, we should behave in a certain way, otherwise we're bad people. And really, it's all an illusion. We don't need to add burden into our life. We have enough on our plate as it is. Laura Vaga, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Jesus loves you. Okay. I know that Jesus loves you. Allah also loves me, and so does Buddha and Ganesha and Krishna and all of them. But thank you for your comment, Laura Vega. Tanuki, but that's exactly what I said. Okay. Fantastic. Azar, love from India. Good night, sir. Okay. Good night to you, Azar. Thank you so much. Come back in the future and we can chat more. Tanuki, be on the top, but don't put people down. Kate, did you always know that you wanted to be a therapist? No, no. I'm just doing things that feel right in accordance to my own journey. And so, yeah, no, I never thought about becoming a therapist. I liked the idea. When I was young, I'm not sure why, but I can remember myself thinking that I wanted to be wise. I think I wanted to understand the nature of everything. I was curious about things and stuff. And then my life became difficult. So I had other things to deal with, other priorities. But eventually, as I went through my own ordeals and situations and adventures, I learned more about myself, and and that led me to do what I'm doing now. Everything that I've done in my life was a natural flow. Um, so for those again who don't know me, I used to be addicted to class A drugs and alcohol for 38 years of my life. Um, I was very aggressive. I was very nasty, very petty, and very unstable emotionally, like super reactive and unstable. And something happened in my life, and I changed more and more, and then I decided to look after my physical health, and so I became a personal trainer, and then I became a strength and conditioning coach. And because I was quite good at what I was doing, I was able to help others. But I did it first and foremost for me, because I wanted to fix my body, my health. Um, and then, as I was looking after some athletes for sport performance, I discovered mindset, and I really loved it. And I realized that mindset was so much more than sport performance. And so I studied it, and I opened my practice as a mindset coach. So again, it came from a personal interest. And then eventually I was able to help others because I was relatively good at it. But I was missing something. And it was anything to do with the subconscious mind, with the emotions. And this is what therapy is about. And so I completed my education to add that element. And now I'm a therapist. I've been also published. So those are my books. I'm an author and I'm obsessed with that. And so I don't know if I'm going to do this forever. I really enjoy this. I've been doing it for 8 years now. And I have become very good at it within my specialisms. But maybe in the future I will do less of therapy and more of writing, more of content creations and things like that. And so it's not like I love everything that I do, but I do things because it feels right for me at this point in my own journey. Hope it makes sense. But no, I never thought about this. I never thought that I'd be a therapist myself. Libya, I grew up Catholic and was always told I'm selfish. Thank you for what you said. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we are being told that we are stupid, we're lazy, we're greedy, we are slutty, we're this and that, and we're just humans. We must accept that this is who we are. We can understand. We can change some aspects of ourselves, but we don't want to do this utilizing shame and guilt and making people feel terrible about themselves. And this is what religion does, sadly. Now, religion is not all bad. Some people are good with it, but the majority, sadly, actually create a lot of mental and emotional problem. If you think about mental emotional problems in religion, everything is there. There's guilt, there's shame, there's not enoughness, as in you need a savior. What it means, I can do nothing on my own. I need someone else. I can't fix myself. So we are being conditioned to function like children, to not have critical thinking and to depend and rely on others, on a bigger force, instead of taking things in charge ourselves. And this is the program, the conditioning that we have from the majority of religion, sadly. But again, I know some people who are very religious, who are using their religion very good, very well. Right? They create a community, they teach love and support instead of making people feel terrible about themselves. And so it's possible to make good use of religion, sometimes. Azar, sure, sir. Thank you, Azar. DM, thanks, Japan, for the Japanese. Akita and Grand Seiko, the best. I don't know what it means. Tanuki, why does it need to be a therapist? You need to learn about some protocols that you can use with your clients, and then you need to understand the human mind, and you need to have also some emotional connection with the people. So you need to be able to connect with your clients emotionally to be a good therapist. If you just want to be a therapist, all you've got to do is to find out what protocol. So you can be EMDR, you can be RTT like me, hypnotherapy as in, you can do, I don't know, NLP, CBT, somatic healing. There's tons of stuff out there. Find out what it is that you want to use as a tool, and then within the organization that you are learning from, they will give you different qualifications that you can use. But this is not enough to make a good therapist. For me, there are two extra elements to this that must be added. Number one, the person must do this for the right reasons. So sometimes people do things for the wrong reasons, as in because they want to have power over others, or maybe they want to impress some people, as in, look at me, I'm very clever, all sort of things. And I know so many therapists who are damaged and they don't look after themselves, and they're doing it for the wrong reason. And so this exists. This exists. And also, it's got to be someone who not only have worked on themselves, so they know what they're doing, they have felt it. It's not just something that you learn from a book. If you have been through the same situations and you came out of it, you understand how it feels, and that adds an extra element that is absolutely super important in therapy. And so, yeah, those are the things you want to look at. You want to do it for the right reasons, and you want to address your own baggage. That's it. And if you can do this, if you care for people, and if you really want to make a difference, then you will become a good therapist over time. And also, it takes a lot of understanding of the human mind. This is very, very paramount. I was a very different therapist the first couple of years when I started compared to now. Libya, congratulations on your journey. On mine. All right, thank you. Thank you, Libya. Tanuki, I would be a terrible therapist. I would tell people, stop whining, get a grip, you're responsible for yourself, etc. Yes, I can see that. You know what? It's very good for you to be honest about it. But you know what? We're all different. So there you go. We're all different. I would be a terrible father, for instance. I realized this the last few years because of my ADHD. Anyone who does a bit of noise gets me into some ADHD rage. I can't think. Stop breathing. And so we're all different. We all have different strengths. And so, yeah, I'm sure that you have a lot of qualities and strength in other aspects of your life that I have none of. We're all different. But it's good for you. Thank you for being honest. And not everyone can be a therapist. It can be heavy. Like you saw me at the beginning of the live, I was very nervous. That's because I've been dealing with a lot of clients, a lot of thoughts, a lot of situations, and sometimes it takes some time for me to let go of those things. They can accumulate, they can affect my sleep, they can affect my state. And so, yes, it's not for everyone. Azar, I'm back again from one of your videos to ask you about your tattoos, sir. Can you tell me secret behind different tattoos of Lord Krishna and a tattoo? I've got Kali here. So it's not Krishna, it's Kali. I've got Buddha. This is the heart of Jesus. You can't see it, but I've got Saint Michael somewhere there, some different deities. They all mean something to me. So I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's quite personal. But they are a reminder of some period of my life. And they are just snapshot memories of me that I like to carry with me. And like for most people who have tattoos, after a period of time, we don't think about them. We don't see them anymore. So it's easy for me to have them. And every now and then, people tell me about it. So I'm reminded there's a key here. There's all sort of things. Yeah, thank you for your interest, but I won't be telling you the stories of my tattoos. Sometime when it is relevant to one of the things that I'm talking about, then I show my tattoo and explain. But just here, just like that, I've got so many tattoos that will take forever, and I don't really want to go that way. I hope you're okay with that, Azar. And it's just picture, it's just, I'm just a fashion victim. See this like that. Yamin, Didi, I hope you are well. Hello, Yamin. Good to see you. What learnings can you apply from your powerlifting training days? Powerlifting, you mean training days that have benefited you in other areas in life? Are you talking about powerlifting? So powerlifting, strength training looks after your body, and it creates a different sense of identity because it's all related to strength. So it brings a lot of confidence. But also when you train, you are creating a lot of happy, feel-good hormones in your body. So it affects positively your mental and your emotional health, not just physical, right? And so anyone who does any exercise, but especially strength exercise, can really, really benefit from it mentally and emotionally. So yes, if you want to ask me a specific question, do, but I'm not sure what else to add about this. What learnings can you apply from your powerlifting training days that have benefited you in order? Yeah, no, this is it. uh, I have a lot of understanding of the human body because I was a coach myself. So that's what I have learned. I learned how to fix myself. I learned how to look after myself. I learned how to train and eat and all of those things that are so important because I used to do this as well. So yeah, understand that you are a body, and so your body is important. Very often people ask me, I've got anxiety and depression and trauma, I don't know what to do, but I can't afford therapy just yet. And so I'm like, it's okay, look after your body. Go to the gym, eat well, sleep well, drink a lot of water, spend some time outdoors, have some sunshine in your face, enjoy nature every now and then, socialize with people, listen to music, rest, recover, meditate. All of those things are free. You can do it yourself. And they can make a huge difference because whichever way that you feel in your body will affect the way you think and the way you process your emotions as well. The way you can regulate your emotions. The way we feel directly affects our interpretation of reality. I'm reading a very good book at the moment called Behave from Robert Sapolsky. So he's a neurobiologist. He's got a lot of different qualifications. He's very, very clever. And it's not the first book that I've read from him. He had another one about stress called Zebras Don't Have Ulcers, or something like that. I've read it a long time ago. But this one, I'm going through it now. And basically that guy is explaining how through many studies, they have realized that the way you feel about yourself will actually impact the way you're going to judge the world and interpret reality. So, for instance, if someone is going to ask to 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 judge the picture of someone's face that they don't know, if they have a cold drink in their hand, they're going to judge them like negative. Suspicious. I don't like that person. But if not, yeah, why not? They're right. Just the feeling of cold in the hand is going to affect the judgment. And there's a lot of examples like that. Uh, there's another one that is very, very interesting. Judges. So basically, they did some tests, some studies, some research in a place where judges at midday, once a week, they have some people who come and and that's the time they're going to grant pardons on some people. And the one determining most important factor as to whether judges are going to pardon those people is whether they had breakfast or not. If they had breakfast before, they may pardon people. If they don't, never. Because the physiological state is going to affect how they perceive the world, how they feel about themselves. And that's why it's so important to look after our body. If you can feel good. That's why I always tell people, what matters the most is what you think. It's not what you do, it's how you feel. Because when we feel good, it's not only good to feel good, but also it's going to enhance your perception of reality itself and your brain power, your mental clarity, your ability to think through things and to come up with some ideas, imagination, all of those things. You have to feel good to optimize all of those things. If not, everything's going to be tainted, hindered. And that's why politicians, governments, people who are at the top are making sure that people who are at the bottom are feeling very unsettled, a lot of fear, a lot of chaos, a lot of problems, so that they're easily agitated and they can hate each other and fight one another instead of looking at the ones at the top who are creating all the problems for everyone. So yeah. Now a little bit of politics, but it's still to do with psychology. Tanuki, maybe because I am Gen X, we used to learn everything by ourselves. Latchkey people. I am Gen X as well, and I'm not like that. Uh, we are all different. So this is the thing. We tend to believe that because I'm Gen X, because I'm a boomer, because I'm Gen Z or millennials, it's not true. We're all different. And every generation, you have a lot of different people, right? But some people believe that they belong to a group because they need to. It's subconscious. We need to belong to a group so that we know where we come from, so that we know who we are. So I come from my country, I come from my generation, I come from my culture, from my religion, from my football club, whatever. And for a lot of people, they don't realize that they do this only because they need to know who they are in this world. The more I can identify myself to a group, the more I've got some bearings about life, and I have a better idea of what I can prepare myself against in this world. But in reality, if we can zoom out and we can realize that in regards to Generation X, every generation has all sorts of different people. No one is the same. I'm Generation X and I'm nothing like the typical Generation X person. Um, Now, there's one thing, however. It's true that the newer generations are more empathetic. They have more emotional intelligence. And I don't want to hurt anyone's feeling, but they're better. Every new generations are always better. It's just evolution, right? Because we're learning more. And so what are they learning more that we didn't know? Emotional intelligence, mental health. Gen X, like you and I, and Taniki, we didn't know much about mental health. Back then, people were just stupid or lazy or stubborn. That's it. People didn't realize that some people have ADHD. They're not lazy, they have ADHD. Some people are not nasty, they have borderline personality. They're not needy, they have BPD. Some people are not uh, unreliable, they are bipolar, and so forth and so on. People are not miserable, they suffer from depression and trauma. Uh, People are not fragile or weak. Maybe they have anxiety. But back then, we didn't know any of those things. And so that's why we tend to be more cruel. People are more cruel, unkind. And the newer generations, they're kinder, they're better. They really, really are better. Now, again, it's not a competition, it's evolution. The newer generations are always meant to be better, and it's a good thing. Yeah. But even back then, a lot of people like me were nothing like the typical Gen X person. I was curious. That's why I asked it. But thank you, sir. It's okay, Azar. No problem. Curiosity is good. Ali Naman, how to stop overthinking? Okay. So it depends. What do you mean by overthinking? There's a lot of different way we can utilize that word. Um, do you have intrusive thought? Are you anxious? Do you replay the things about the day, the conversation that you had? Is it when you are more stressed out? Or is it always like that? Do you always have thought in your head? Has it been for the whole of your life, or is it just at the moment? Give me more, please, so that I can understand. When we're overthinking, it can be for all sorts of different reasons. Maybe we suffer from depression, anxiety, stress, overwhelm. Maybe, yes, we have some unhealed wound, traumas. Maybe you have some conditions. Maybe you have ADHD, like me. So you overthink because this is what your brain does. It can be so many things. Give me an example about what you mean by overthinking, please. And I will go in that direction. I would love to have that chat with you. Kate, is it possible to heal from trauma? Yes, 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 Kate, absolutely, yes. So, yes, absolutely. So very possible. And so, yes, go in that direction. Find out what it is that you can do for yourself at this point in time in your life to go in your journey of discovery and healing. But yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. 100%. Azar, I just got to know that you're fitness freaks. Please tell me how can I gain some weight? I'm too skinny. I'm not a fitness freak. I love fitness. I love training. It's a big passion of me, but I don't call it freak because it's negative, right? Fitness freaks. Um, it's not very kind to call me a freak, is it? I know you don't mean it. I'm joking. Just one sec, please. Look, even my cup. Fitness freak here. All right. If you want to get more weight, this is not a channel for that. What I'd say, there's a lot of things on YouTube. Find out about strength training, eat, train, and learn how to train. That's it. Train do some powerlifting. And it's very, you know what, it's very basic. It's very simple. As long as you get people who can teach you the right technique so that you don't hurt yourself, with patience and repetition, eventually, progressive overload, you will get bigger and better and stronger over time. That's it. Sleep well, eat well, follow the program, listen to your body, don't go crazy, and over time you will be bigger. Anyone can be bigger. I looked after people when I was a PT who was skinny and said they could not gain, and they all ended up huge. It's absolutely possible for everyone. You just need to learn how to do this. There are tons of stuff online, really. Ali, how to stop overthinking, how to stop overthinking. So yes, tell me more about you and I will address this. Tanuki, Kate, do you want to? Then yes. Mystic Witch Moon, is this Little Britain? I don't understand. What do you mean by this? Azar, glad to hear I'm better. M. Gen Z. Kate, any millionaires here? Azar, I guess so, Kate. Tanuki, I don't think we are better or less empathetic, but we grow up differently. Your feelings don't matter. So let me rephrase it. It's not about the people, it's about the culture. The culture was much less empathetic. It was cruel. Back then, in the 70s and 80s, everyone was racist. Everyone was ableist. Everyone was homophobic. Everyone was sexist. Everyone was fattist. Everyone was allism. I know that. I was there. And I suffered from this. And I was also all of those things to some people as well. And so that's why I'm saying back then, because of the culture, because of society, we were less empathetic. Absolutely. We had less understanding of the mind. So it's not possible to have empathy if we don't understand that there's such thing as mental health. Yeah, things were much more cruel. And the reason I'm very, very well positioned to say that is because I suffered myself from a lot of racism and a lot of discrimination. And that led me to have all of my problems as I went through my life. It all started from there. And so, yes, absolutely. People were much less empathetic because of the culture. Now, there are individuals. And so maybe you are not, maybe you are kind, maybe some of the people that you know also are kind. But at a general level, having lived all my life just like you through the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and met so many people, it is it is absolutely for me very, very obvious. You may be an exception. I'm not saying that everyone is, but at a general level, Generation X and the boomers, they didn't have a chance to understand, to be taught about about emotional intelligence. It didn't exist back then. Talking about racism, it was everywhere, on television, on the radio, on the newspapers, in the bars, in the streets, everywhere. It was relentless, everywhere. As a Herc is bulk. Gerald Glass, happy Black History Month. Okay, yeah. I didn't realize, and I know that there's also an LGBT kind of week or month, something like that. But for me, it's always Black History or LGBT or anything like that. It's always in my conversation because they're important issues to address. Hello there. Are you betting on the Eagles for the Super Bowl? I haven't got a clue what you're talking about. I only know the band Hotel California called the Eagles. Other than that, I don't know other Eagles than that. And I'm pretty much sure that they don't play a sport that is to do with Super Bowls. I wouldn't know. Tanuki, supper time. See you later. Thank you so much, Tanuki. I hope that you are not offended by what I said and that you understand what I meant. And I wish you Nice dinner. Bon appetit. Azar, where you live currently, sir? I live in the UK in London. Sampala, how to deal with loss of someone you loved and has moved on. Okay, so they have moved on, but you are still heartbroken. Is that correct? So what you want to do is to move on, is to accept that whatever that you had to live together was that, and there's nothing else. And now you need to let go of that person so that you can invite someone else into your life. The reason why we find it difficult to let go of some people is because we forget that there are millions of people in this world. Right? There's so many people. Why would we just obsess over one person? Because there's a part of us who believe that they're so special, they're so different. But it's not true. It was nice. They are maybe closer to us than other people, but they're not the only one. And so accept that relationship and heartbreaks are part of your human adventure, and it's okay. And you learn and you grow and you evolve out of that. Do you want to tell us more about this, please, Sampara? Is it a heartbreak from a relationship, right? Let's move down. The best way to deal with that is to actively fill up your mind with something else. Because if you don't do this, the old thought will come back into your mind. And so either go dating, meet people, or focus on your work, on your studies, or whatever that you enjoy, your hobbies. Do something. Be active with your mind. If you don't, if you just sit down there, your old thought will come back and you'll feel terrible about yourself. Sampada, yes. Okay. Does that help what I said or not? Azar. Okay, so it's 1 a.m. in India. Oh, wow. I'm in India. Fantastic. And it's 6:31, perhaps in London. It's 7:31. It's 7:30 p.m. right now. Okay, well, fantastic. I don't realize that I could reach India. Fantastic. I wish you a good night, Azar, and I'll speak to you whenever you're back. Azar, good night. Good night to you. Sampada, I have developed severe anger issues and hurt people who love me. Okay, so do you have any professional help? We can talk about this if you want. I'm very familiar with anger. I have suffered from it myself for many, many years in my life. Do you get angry? Do you react emotionally? Do you get angry because of the things that you think? Or is it just happens? You don't even need to think about anything. You just get angry. You react physically. Azar, sorry, miscalculation. Good night. I'll be seeing you often. So thank you so much, Azar. Take care. Sampada, yes, previously. What gets you angry? Give me an example, please. Give me an example that about what makes you angry, and I can address this specifically. We get angry because we have some belief that gets us to get angry. So belief are subconscious and they're emotional, and they are triggers that we are put into place. And so if someone does something, behave in a certain way, if I see something, if I hear something, then I need to get angry. We have a belief that I must protect myself, I must react, I must counterattack, and this is what anger does. And so you want to find out what it is. And so if you can give me an example of the things that typically make you angry, we can address this. Is anger like a defense mechanism then? Yes. So originally, there are different types of anger, but emotions are systems that we have that exist for a reason. And so anger is precisely to protect ourselves. Anger exists originally to get us to focus and get energy to take an action to protect ourselves. So when we get angry, we're able to do lots of other things. We can fight, we can run, but sometimes anger can become a problem when we don't know how to deal with that energy. If we repress the anger all the time, it's going to become a problem because we're going to keep the energy of anger inside of our body if we not allow ourselves to express it. And that can create a lot of problems because the anger is still there. So we repress, I don't say anything, I'm trying to control my anger, and then suddenly something happens and all that anger was there, it's going to come out like a bomb, because like a pressure cooker, because it was always there anyway. And so that's one of the things that happens. But also, sometimes anger can exist as a secondary emotion, as a way system to protect you from another feeling that you don't want to feel. So, for instance, if I'm being told as a man, you can't be vulnerable, you can't cry, you can't feel bad about yourself because you have to be strong all the time. Now, whenever I'm going to feel vulnerable, whenever I feel that I'm losing control, that I don't understand things, I'm going to feel shame. And now the anger will come to the rescue to protect me from the shame. And I'm going to get angry. So typically, the way many men experience depression is through anger, because they're not allowed in society, in a patriarchal, toxic masculine society, they're not allowed to be emotional, to be sad, to cry. And so whenever they're sad, instead of expressing their sadness and seeking help and talking about it openly to their friends, they bottle it up. And then the anger comes and is going to protect them. Is going to tell you can't be shamed, you can't be sad. I'm going to be angry, because anger is accepted for men in society. And so what we don't realize is that a lot of men who are always angry, they actually suffer from depression, but they're expressing it in a different way. The idea of depression being sadness is actually more feminine. This is what people don't talk about enough. And that's why a lot of men unalive themselves twice as many more than as women, because they don't seek help, because they are ashamed of the sadness, because of the education that they had. Boys don't cry, don't be a sissy, those sort of things. So yeah, it's not about the anger, it's not about the emotion, it's about understanding how our body and our mind functions, so that we can understand the bigger picture. It's never just this or that. Kate, well, I've never thought of it like that. Okay, well, I'm glad that somehow it was insightful to you. I've been here for 1.5 hours. I'm going to stay here up till maybe 8 o'clock, so another 20 minutes. Unless there's no one left. For those who are around, would you rather me start earlier or at the same time as today? Today I started at 6 p.m. UK time. Last week I started at 3 p.m. Do you prefer vertical or horizontal? Let me know. And also, one thing that I want to add is that I take a request. I've been very busy with my work because it's January, but I take a request to create some videos to answer your questions. So if you have anything you want to ask me, and I will take a note. And hopefully, as soon as I can, I will create some long-form videos to address all of your questions. Anything to do, again, with therapy, human behavior, human psychology, relationships, mental health, mindset, mindfulness, and even spirituality, if you want. Kate, my boyfriend is quick to get angry, and I've never considered that perhaps he's probably suffering or depressed. Yes, so there you go. Maybe. So there could be all sort of different reasons. But if someone is habitually angry, it's not normal. We get angry every now and then, and it's necessary when someone is crossing our boundaries. So we're going to go, keep away. Right? This is what anger exists for. This is healthy anger. We need to express it. But if someone is always triggered, always reactive, always angry, but now there's something that needs to be addressed. I used to be angry all the time, against myself, against the world, against everyone, against life. I used to hate everything, everyone. Uh, not normal at all. Brian Bush, as an intelligent person, why do you think you fell into the inking fad? Because I'm intelligent and I have taste. Nancy, Yaga, I'm here. I don't know if my vote counts because I am a peculiar person, but I prefer evenings. Okay, all right. Okay, so that's one vote. I take it into consideration. Thank you for commenting. I mean, I will never go too late. That'd be either from 3 to 5 or from 6 to 8. But I remember that comment from you. Nancy, thank you. Nancy, anger can make you ill. Yes, absolutely. Everything, any repressed emotion can make you ill. Fear, anxiety, sadness and depression, you know, they can, all of those emotions, if they are repressed, resentment, they can absolutely make you ill. There's been a lot of studies and research in correlation with your physical health and your emotional state. And we found out that out of a group of a lot of people who had cancers, the one thing that they all had in common is that they didn't forgive their parents. They still had some issues with the past, and they never dealt with that. And so, over a lifetime, they have repressed all those emotions that have affected the organs and developed in myriad of different ways. And they had a lot of problems, not just cancers, also stuff like heart attacks, blood pressure, dementia, all those problems that we have at a later stage in our life, they are absolutely all connected to some undealt emotional issues from our past. That's why it's so important to really address our mental and emotional health. When people say mental health is health, I really, really believe that. We're not a body or a mind. We're one thing. It's a body and a mind. and so there's connection from both directions. Kate, Didi, it takes a lot to change who you were. And what made you change to who you are now? A lifetime. It took me a lifetime to get there. It's not like one thing happened. And even though there has been some aha moment that has really precipitated my evolution, my transformation, for me to go through those moments, I had to be ready. So everything that happened before led me to those moments. Whenever we have a transformation, it's still the continuation of something that started prior to that. And so everything matters. Everything about your life matters. You are the collection of everything that you have lived and witnessed and experienced up to this point. And so my transformation has happened all throughout my life. And also what I want people to realize is that we're here to experience a journey, a life. Just 1 second, please. Alfie, you okay? Sorry, I'm checking on my dog. I have a very old dog. Where was I? Yes, we're the continuation of our whole life. It all starts from birth and even before. But every now and then we'll be presented with some opportunities to change. And whether we're ready or not is the result of everything that happened before. See your life as a whole adventure, and everything was always meant to happen. Everything was always meant to add to something else. And so whatever you've been going through is only the first chapter of your life. And when you change, if you do change, everything will make sense. It was never a problem. It was the first chapters of your life, and now you're embracing another chapter, and you will go through that all of your life. We are a story. We are all of it. If we don't want to believe that I was in a bad place, I'm in a better place now, before was bad, now is good. It was always a part of the whole story that is who we are. Healing is about accepting all the parts within ourselves. And so if we can also accept our whole story, our whole life, with all the character, with all the episodes of our life, then that's how we heal. By accepting that it's a wholeness. There's no good or bad. There's only an evolution, an adventure, and as long as we're alive, we can still always change. All of us. I hope it makes sense. Kate, that's a really nice way to think. Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate this. And so, don't despair. Know that whatever you're going through, so many of us, we've been through very similar, right? Again, it's not a competition, but we've been through many, many years, a lifetime of despair and helplessness and rage, hatred, desperation. I mean, I said that already. Anxiety, fear. And yet, we changed. No matter how you feel about yourself, many of us used to also feel like that, like we would never change, and yet we changed. So it's possible. So I always say to people, nothing is guaranteed in life, but everything is possible. And that's enough. If you understand that something is possible, then we have enough to find hope and motivation to keep going until we change. Kate, I do feel like I look at the world very negatively because you train your mind to do so. Now, whatever that you do is the result of again, habit of thought, habit of belief, habit of emotions and feelings. And so you can change this. You can learn how to highlight the good things in life. You can learn how to watch more content and stuff that are lifting you up. Instead of watching the news that are quite depressive, watch videos about kittens and puppies instead. Watch comedies, listen to music, watch art, stuff that are beautiful, that excites you, that stimulates you positively. Do more things that are creative, that you enjoy. And so you will rewire your brain to be more positive. Focus on the good stuff. It's a skill, right? I understand that it doesn't make any sense right now. If I ask you to focus on the good stuff and you're depressed, you can tell me there's nothing good. But what you want to do is to train your mind like a detective. You want to have a detective mindset to look out for the good stuff, to practice gratitude, to seek for the glimmers. So I discovered a new term a few weeks ago. The opposite of a trigger is a glimmer. And so glimmers are the little cues that makes you happy and peaceful and present and joyful. And so if you can train your mind to seek, to look out for the little glimmers in your life, you will become better at finding them. And eventually your life will be easier, nicer, kinder to you. But it's a skill. You need to train your mind and your heart to seek for the little happy, joyful things. Look for the little things that you enjoy. I enjoy my coffee. I enjoy my dog. I enjoy my music. I enjoy walking in the park. I go to the park every day. I love it. I enjoy the gym. I enjoy my husband. I enjoy food. I enjoy the little things. And I do my best to appreciate, to make it a celebration. And if you can do this, if you can appreciate the littlest things, eventually you appreciate more and more and more things, and things will become better. It's a muscle, it's a skill. You need to practice it again and again. But we're talking about gratitude here. If you can learn how to practice gratitude like a skill, that will retrain your mind eventually to see the beauty of the world. The world is not ugly or beautiful. The world is just what it is. How we feel about it is down to the filters that we have. And so we can change those filters by virtue of repetition. Tanuki and back. Okay, fantastic. Welcome back, Tanuki. Thank you for coming back. Kate, I never used to think like this, but over the years, I've just noticed I'm always just thinking so negatively about everything. It does happen. Sometimes we get more and more depressed and negative because we had some belief about life Life should go that way. Life should be like that. I should have this. I should meet that person. I should be successful. I should be happy. And it's not happening. And over time, years accumulate, and we're like, gosh, it's still not happening. What's wrong? And now we're starting to develop that depression because we're realizing that all of those beliefs were not true. So we're lost, we're confused, we don't know what to do. So it's absolutely possible. It happens. And also, we're living harsh times. It's true that because of the political situations in many places of the world, economic situations as well, many of us are under more pressure and challenge than in other times in history. But we can still change no matter what is happening around us. We're not defined by our environment. If you have a better mindset, if you can address those filters that I was talking about, it doesn't matter what is happening around us because we have a better way. Our mind will be, again, looking for the positive things. So no matter what is happening around us, we can still find enough goodness within our life to be happy about ourselves or to be happy about it. Tanuki, reading positive books help. Yes, it does. Actually, any reading helps. Yeah. Or audiobooks. Some of us, we find it difficult to read, like I, for instance, because of my ADHD, audiobooks are much better options. But just learning things, opening our minds, gathering more information is always very, very good. I'd say instead of reading books, doing things that make us happy. It's even more simple than that. Whatever it is that you enjoy doing, dancing, singing, exercising, cooking, or reading books, learning new skills, as long as it's something that makes us happy, this is the main thing. Listen to your body, remember the things that you used to enjoy, and do those things again. And that will really help you. We don't realize that we have time and we can do a lot of things that cost nothing, but can really elevate our quality of life. And instead of doing those things, we just sit in the dark and rummaging about negative thoughts about ourselves. Nancy, how to forgive? I have to forgive my parents every time I remember, and I am 70 years old. I cannot forgive the church I grew up in. Okay. So if you want to forgive your parents, forgiveness is not something that you do. Forgiveness is something that happens as a result of you having healed. And so don't focus on forgiving. Focus on healing. How do you heal? By understanding. Right? So understand that your parents did what they did because X, Y, Z. Understand that it was nothing to do with you. So maybe have you had therapy? Because I don't know how much you understand about the mind, the emotions, and the belief system. But essentially, your parents, you feel hurt because whenever you look at the past, you look at the past from the perspective of the child, from the emotional mind, and the child was hurt. And so whenever you see the past from that perspective, you will feel hurt again. You will feel helpless again. You will feel angry again. You feel that it's not fair again. So you want to find a way to learn how to make the difference between this and that. There's a time and a place for everything. Feeling is very important. But when it comes to healing, you want to utilize that mind and realize that your parents did what they did because of them, not because of you. Whatever happened to you was never anything to do with you. You suffer because the child within you believes that it was because of you. And also, the child inside of you doesn't want to let go of that memory and that thought because it is still scared of what could happen to you now. If you can realize that whatever happened to you in the past can never happen to you again, ever again now, because you're an adult, then that can also really help. Some of our memories are always there because they are highly charged of emotional intensity. And that's why they keep on coming back, because the mind believes that it's very important that we remember those things. And so understand that, I don't know, I wouldn't know how to, I don't know you. But what you want to do is to realize that whenever you feel like that, is because you're looking at that memory from the position of the child, from the emotional mind. If you can practice mindfulness, meditation, and learn how to come back from here to there, and remind yourself, I'm an adult. Whatever happened back then can never happen to me again, so I'm safe. And also, now I can see my parents like adults. So do this. Instead of looking at your parents in your memory as your parents on a pedestal, they have the power, they understand things, they control my life. Look at them like human beings. You're at the same level, you are 70 years old now. So you have been through many stages of life that your parents been through. So you understand how it feels to be a human being. So look at them like just human beings with their flaws, with their imperfections, with their fragility, with their hurts, with their wounds. And that will help you find compassion for them. They have still hurt you. You were a child, but sometimes people are so living in fear and control because of their community, because of their religion, that they can't do anything else. They suffered from that. Your parents suffered if you suffered from their upbringing. They hated that, but they just were terrified of the alternative because of the conditioning. So if you can find a way also to look at them through the eyes of compassion, if you can feel sorry for your parents, that will help you have compassion for them. And eventually heal, and eventually forgive them naturally. Does it make sense? Does it help at all, Nancy? Did you grow up in a cult? Tanuki, dear Nancy, maybe you don't have to. It's true. But at the same time, as we get older, just for physical health, if we can heal, then we can forgive. And as we forgive, it's actually better for physical health. I was explaining just before how a lot of people who have cancer, dementia, heart attacks, high blood pressure, they have this because they have repressed emotions for a lifetime, and that has developed into a lot of conditions in their body. And so we don't want to force ourselves to forgive because we can't do that. No one can force themselves to forgive any more than, and no one can force themselves to heal or to be happy. But by understanding things, by working on reflection and trying to make sense of everything, we are more able to heal ourselves and eventually naturally forgive. Nancy, thank you, Taniki. Nancy, I meant Taniki, sorry. You meant Tanuki. Tanuki, accept that what happened and be thankful for what you are. Nancy, apparently my phone is charging your name. I won't get angry. Tanuki, change what you can accept. Change what you can, accept what you can't, and hopefully know what you can do. Okay, it's been nearly 2 hours, but I've been live now. I think I'm going to go in the next few minutes. Is there anything else anyone would like to ask me before I leave? For those who are new again, I'm going to do my best to come back every Saturday on YouTube. So I'm not sure what time yet. Are you happy with that time? I suppose. Okay. Kate, make sure to eat something. I hope you haven't forgotten to eat. Oh, me? Ah, don't worry, I never forget to eat. I love my food. Sounds like you've had a busy day. Yes, I did. But I have got lots of food waiting for me. Thank you. Nancy, I have learned, I gave my children the opposite. Love and acceptance. I love my parents. I have felt sorry for them. I grew up in the Catholic Church and non academy. Thank you, Didi. You have helped. Fantastic. Thank you. Something that I said was helpful. Thank you so much. So yes, if you're on TikTok, you can find me there. And I do a couple of lives per week. Although this week I only did one because I was too busy. And normally it's in the evening. But if you don't do TikTok, it's okay. Because I will come every Saturday on YouTube. So I'm not sure what time yet at this point in time. maybe in the afternoon or like today from 6 o'clock. I'm not sure yet, but I will put a notification, I think a preview that tells people who follow me on YouTube that I'm going to go live at what time, right? If you have any questions, you can put the comment so that I can either create some content for you about those questions, or I can address them next time. If you know anyone, get them involved. Yeah, let me read the last comment. Tanuki, he doesn't look like he doesn't eat. What do you mean, Tanuki? Yes, I do eat. Nancy, you have validated my feelings more than once. Many thanks. Fantastic. Thank you, Nancy. I'm glad I did something positive and useful for you. Urban Goody, Tanuki, he's not fat, he's buff. I can be buff. Kate, thank you for tonight. Thank you, Kate. Tanuki, I didn't say he's fat. He looks very healthy. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tanuki. Nancy, I was a personal trainer for decades. Oh, yes, Didi works out. Thank you, Nancy. Yes, I was a PT myself. So, yeah. So, guys, that's it. I'm going to say goodbye now. Hope you enjoyed this. Any comment, do ask me. If you need any details about me, I think there's a link to my website on my clip somewhere. Yeah, again, if you can tell me what sort of time you would rather me be live, UK time on YouTube on Saturday, and if you prefer vertical or horizontal video. If not, I just mix and match and try over the weeks and see what happens. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I love you all. Tanuki, it was very nice. Have a nice weekend. Thank you so much. Same to you. Same to all of you guys. Love you all. Take care. Look after yourself. And remember to be kind to yourself. Okay. Now, I need to remember how to do this. Where do I click? Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes, I want. Bye-bye, guys.